The smile ending is a mysterious phenomenon that's been baffling scientists for years. Some say it's an alien virus that makes its victims grin uncontrollably. In contrast, others believe it's some supernatural force. But what is the truth behind this enigmatic creature? In this video, we'll answer all your questions and help you protect yourself from the smile ending. First up, the film Smile was always meant to have a bleak ending. The writer-director of the film Smile has revealed that the bleak ending was always meant to be part of the movie. He explained that it felt like there was just a chance to not necessarily do what audiences are hoping for, and that it felt like it was earned through the plot and themes of the film. While there were a few different routes he considered early on, at a certain point, it got solidified, and the bleak ending remained in the script from an early stage. Next up, writer-director Parker Finn explains the decision-making behind the film's tragic conclusion. While it may not have been what audiences were hoping for, Parker Finn believed that the bleak ending was more earned and made sense when considering the film's plot and themes. The decision to go with a darker finale than a happier one was solidified early in the writing process. Meanwhile, fans of the movie were left heartbroken when Rose Cutter's efforts failed. The character had been through a lot, and many were hoping she would overcome the curse bestowed upon her. However, the film ended on a tragic note, with Cutter possessed by the entity and setting herself on fire. This left Gallner's character Joel with the curse. Next, while speaking with Slash Film, Finn opened up about why he chose to go with a darker ending. Finn opened up about the reasoning behind the bleak ending, citing that it felt more organic to the plot and themes of the film. He also admitted that there were several different ways the film could have ended, but that he eventually decided on a darker route for the sake of realism. This decision was met with mixed reactions, as some viewers were left heartbroken, while others found it more fulfilling. And now he believes that it was baked into the DNA of the story, and felt that it was more earned than a happier one. Parker Finn, the writer and director of Smile, believes that the bleak ending was more earned than a happier one. He believes that it was baked into the DNA of the story, and a necessary part of the plot and themes of the film. While considering a few different routes for the ending, he eventually decided on one that would leave audiences heartbroken. In his opinion, it was the only way to go, given what had happened throughout the film. Next, there were multiple ways that the film could have ended, but Finn decided on this one early on. When Parker Finn wrote Smile, he knew the film would have to end in tragedy. He felt that the movie's plot and themes lent themselves to a dark ending rather than a happy one. In the end, Rose Cutter is possessed by Smile and sets herself on fire in front of Joel. This leaves the curse on him, and Smile wins. Next, Smile's bleak ending was the right call. As Finn points out, many Hollywood-produced horror films conclude with happy resolutions to appease viewers, after terrifying them for most of their runtimes. In contrast to other chain curse horror movies like It Follows, The Ring, or the Fear Street trilogy that came before it, Smile borrowed strategies from Drag Me to Hell and The Grudge, tricking audiences into believing they were getting a happy ending before pulling the rug out from under them at the very end. However, unlike Sam Raimi's well-liked horror comedy, Finn's straightforward treatment of the genre worked better for a melancholic conclusion than having Rose defeat the terrible thing at the center of the movie. A significant portion of Smile focused on Rose's inability to deal with her past trauma healthily, and how she found employment in her field to assist others when she cannot assist herself. Though she may have finally faced the ghost of her past in the film's fiery conclusion, her failure to defeat evil ultimately coincided with the fact that she came to many important realizations too late. Whether she could not attempt to save her mother while she was overdosing, or the realization that Joel was a better partner than her controlling fiancé Trevor. As Finn points out, rather than just defeating the thing and moving on with her life, Rose's demise and Smile's tragic conclusion feel much more earned through this character development, or lack thereof. Finally, will a Smile 2 happen? As cynical as it may sound, another compelling argument for Smile's depressing conclusion is that it leaves the door open for an inevitable sequel, in which Joel now possesses the curse. In a prospective Smile 2, while Finn has teased concepts for the film, including unexplored backstory deleted from the first picture due to budgetary restraints and story issues, Gallner has expressed his curiosity in seeing what happens next for his character. It would be intriguing to see if Finn and Gallner rejoin for another chapter in the horror world, given that Smile has already blazed through the box office with over $210 million against its $17 million budget and scored mainly positive reviews. Smile. What is the entity and why does it make its victims grin like that? The movie follows Rose, a therapist who begins experiencing hallucinations after witnessing one of her patients take their own life. It becomes clear that the hallucinations aren't just in her head, and that she's being taunted by a virus-like monster or entity that breaks its victims down before possessing them and using their bodies to kill them. The movie is an allegory for how trauma can be passed on to other people. Next up, how the movie borrows from other horror classics. The movie borrows popular tropes from other horrors, such as The Ring and Truth or Dare. To tell its story, it also brings something entirely new and mysterious to the genre. One of the reasons that Parker Finn's Smile stands out as one of the best horror movies of 2022 is because it leaves audiences still curious about the criminal entity and why it makes its victims flash a grin before killing them. Next is why Smile's one of the best horror movies of 2022. There are many reasons why Smile is considered one of the best horror movies of 2022. Some of these reasons include its intriguing and mysterious storyline and incorporation of popular horror tropes. However, what makes Smile stand out most is how it uses traumas and memories to create a powerful metaphor for how trauma can be passed on from person to person. Trauma is often described as an all-consuming force, which the entity in Smile represents. This entity preys on people who have experienced trauma, breaking them down until they're possessed by the entity and forced to kill others. This cycle can only be broken if the person infected murders someone, representing how trauma can sometimes feel like it has a life of its own. Smile is a well-done horror movie that will leave audiences engaged and curious about the criminal entity and why it makes its victims flash a grin before killing them. Next, what does the entity want in Smile? In Smile, the monster is fueled by psychological anguish and survives by preying on people's suffering. Regarding demonic forces, Smile's better than other films because it doesn't require a host to retain its power, and is challenging to defeat due to its virus-like nature. Due to its unusual behavior, it's possible to surmise that Smile's entity is a soul collector that quickly devours its victims before moving on to the next, only growing stronger with each one. This hypothesis is supported by a conversation between Rose and the entity in Smile, which promises Rose that she will remain with it forever. More importantly, the symbolic nature of the entity highlights the challenges of mind control. Rose can be made to see things that no one else can, and Smile's entity has even given her a mocking mirage. As a result, the creature tricks her into thinking that she's conquered it, and returns home in Smile's shocking twist ending. To ensure that it can defeat Rose and its previous victims, who ultimately succumb to this monster, the film's evil entity uses how trauma travels from one person to another. Finally, why does the entity make its victims smile? The most unsettling aspect of the monster depicted in the film is how it makes its victims smile before compelling them to commit suicide. Additionally, each time the creature appears in Smile, it does so while wearing a disguise and flashing the same ominous grin. The grin is an allusion to how the most common approach to dealing with emotional suffering is to smile at the world rather than face any inner demons, given the movie's recurring themes of mental health. Therefore, Smile's entity makes its victims smile and put up with it to further mock the suffering they're experiencing, the common reaction people have to mental health. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. And don't forget to leave a comment below letting us know what you think. We love hearing from you.